Welcome back to 4Willie D, and I'm Willie D. Alright guys, today we're going to finish up the trail we're trying to make off-road worthy. We're going to put new latches on it. We're going to put expanded metal on it. We're going to throw on the spare tire mount and get onto it. And just so you guys know, I might be calling the latches hinges in the video, but it's not that big a deal. I know you know what latches are, and I know what latches are, without a doubt. But anyways, we're going to get onto it. We're actually just going to go and spin right into this video. Alright guys, today we're working on the trailer we're trying to make off-road worthy. Today we have these hinges that we're going to replace with new ones. They have a clearly defective engineering design. So, you take this is in the latch position and put it into the unlatched position. Well, this here sticks about 6 inches into the bed, which means I could catch a tire with it whether I'm unloading the Jeep or the side-by-side. Which means A, I could end up ripping off this hinge, or even worse, I could put a hole in a very expensive tire. So these suckers gotta go. And these are the new ones that are gonna replace that and remedy that problem. So the first thing we gotta do is gotta cut off this old hinge. All right guys, I got my eyes, got my ears, let's get to cutting. Alrighty, we got our old hinges cut off. They're garbage. Alright, so these are new, beautiful new hinges. However, they do have one little small feature that we have to fix first. So we have these little pins here whenever you pull it up and then lock it in like that. One small problem. You can already see with this one that's brand new, and they can come right out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it over to the bench, and on the back side where here was supposed to be machined dimpled, we're going to go ahead and insert this one back in. And what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to go ahead and try to weld all of these in. It's going to be real simple, easy weld, just to prevent it from coming out in the future. So anyways though, we're going to get you set up over onto the welding table. I got a new lens for my camera, so maybe I'll get some good shots and some welds. So here we go. Alrighty, now that we got the trailer moved, I can go ahead and start working on this other set of latches over here. So we got our latches done on our gate. I got it taken off right now, but we're gonna put it back on here in a second. Next thing we're gonna tackle is putting this expanded metal on the tongue, because I'm using it as a step for my camper. And then we're gonna make our parts here that I was able to cut some metal for our spare tire to mount to. Would have got this all done yesterday, but A, I didn't have the parts, and B, I had to take care of a sick girlfriend, and she comes first. So, anyways though, we're gonna get it all knocked out real quick. Let's get it done. Okay, so when we're practicing this TIG welding, what we're working on with this expanded metal is heat control. We're welding something that's a lot thicker to something that's a lot thinner. So we need to put the heat into, in this case, the C channel before we put it into the expanded metal, which is the thinner. So I gotta get the C channel hot enough so that it melts, and it's gonna dissipate heat faster than with the smaller sets, which is the expanded metal. So it's a little bit of a trick. Alright, so this is definitely taking a little bit longer with the TIG than it would with the MIG, but I'm practicing my TIG skills so that way eventually one day I can be a master fabricator. Anyone can use a MIG now, but one day I want to be out there building roll cages, and that might have something to do with that project over there. But not for right now. We're working on this, okay? So we're practicing our TIG skills, we're working on fabrication. Eventually, we're going to get to work on some of that bigger stuff.
So to give you a little close-up of my welds. And these are just spot welds, but this is a good way to practice starting and stopping welds for me. And you can see actually over here, they're not as good. And that's because that's where I first started. But as I make my way along, I got the time I was getting to over here, yeah, they're looking a lot better. A lot more control, you can tell.
This is the spare tire carrier, and I know you're probably looking and going like, oh hey, that's not even welded on straight. This was me trying to make it work. Basically, these holes were supposed to be 4.5 inches off, and they're like 4 3/4. So they're off by almost 1/4 of an inch when they went and when they drilled these holes. And I was like, I can make it work, and yeah, it kind of works, but it looks really like crap. So we're gonna just cut the whole thing off. Get it drilled right on 4.5. So this is basically kind of fixing their mistake, but hey, it's whatever. We're here to learn, right? All right, first thing we gotta do is cut this old one off. Got my eyes, got my ears, let's do some cutting. Woo! Ha-ha! You didn't really think I was gonna use a file, did you?
one thing they did right with this is, I think, the width of the piece of metal. It just looks good. It looks right. This looks like the right length. And it's 8 inches. I can tell you something else that's 8 inches. But this is not that kind of show. All right, we gotta go to the bench. To the bench! No, I did the exact same thing. Oh no. Oh, mijo. Why? This is 4 1/4. Oh no. Here. I ran into an issue from the very beginning that I had no idea was going to happen. And this is why I keep having problems with all these parts issues. So originally I thought these tires right here were 5 lug on a 4.5 inch pattern. JP Trailers apparently uses a very oddball size bolt pattern of 4 3/4. 5 lugs on 4 3/4. Which, by the way, I couldn't find another one in town. I could find only one on Amazon. So I'm not crazy here to just automatically assume that it was 4.5. And I didn't, but I should have gotten in there closer and actually measured it. So anyways, I had to go back to JP, and they were the only ones who had the 4 3/4 pattern. I got the right wheel now, right here. And we're gonna have to do something with that one. These are not perfect welds. This right here, these are not perfect welds. However, though, I'm working on to try to get there. I know I could do a bunch of like welding coupons to make my welding skills better, and I've done that. And it doesn't have a whole lot of real world transfer. So I can put a stack of dimes on a coupon. It's really not as hard as you think it would be. I definitely could practice on maybe some tubing coupons. That would definitely help out a lot. But this is kind of like a real world thing right here. Now, at first glance, I thought that for sure the stud, because that stud is so thick that it's going to be harder to put heat into than this 1/4 inch plate. Which I know 1/4 inch plate is pretty thick, but what I didn't think about was the fact of how this is a huge plate in volume. You see the key term there is volume, and also it has a lot more surface area, which means it dissipates heat much more than this thick stud here. So it turns out that the stud was actually much easier to melt. This stud right here is actually much easier to melt than this 1/4 inch plate. So that's the reason why over here you see some of the undercutting I have, is because I didn't realize that this stud was going to melt so fast. And then once I realized it, I was like, oh, okay, I need to put the heat into the plate, more heat into the plate, so I had to adjust my angle. And then I started getting, some nice, you can see where I adjust my angle over here. Man, it really came out nice. So, this is something you're not going to learn on a coupon. It's pure experience. So, I want to get that experience doing the simple projects first, and eventually, like I keep saying, I keep preaching it, one day almighty, we'll be in a trophy truck doing 70 down through the desert on an Ultra 4 going down a mountain. One day. One day.
spare tire on this thing. Maybe. Possibly. Boom. Boom, big money, baby. Damn, that looks good. So we got our spare tire mount made. Man, this has been one hell of a mess just because I didn't realize I had the wrong tire or wrong wheel lug pattern to begin with. So I need to get this trailer down and get it out of here. I need to use it. Some of the modifications that I previously thought I was going to do, I don't think I'm going to do. So I was going to mount my truck spare over here on the end. I was getting ready to do it, got all the stuff, and it's going to look terrible because it's this huge freaking tire sitting next to this trailer. And then you have like the regular spare for the trailer on that side, and it just doesn't look right. It looks really bad. The off-road jack that I was going to mount onto the side, that got just like my old trailer. Well, my old man called me up and said, "Hey, why are you worried about using a jack to change a spare? He's like, why don't you go get yourself a trailer aid?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, Dad?" This right here is what he's talking about, one of these trailer aids. And I've used these before, and I just never had thought about it because my old trailer was a single axle. Well, this one's tandem, so you can use a trailer aid instead of using a jack. And about that, I was like, oh, that kind of is the right solution because I do have a toolbox to keep it in. So I won't be putting an off-road jack on this. The winch, I definitely want to get figured out. We're gonna get something figured out for the winch, but it's not gonna happen today. And I need to get this trailer out of the shop and start using it. So I think today we're gonna get the shop cleaned up. We're gonna get it out of here, and we'll go do some real world testing. I gotta go take maybe we'll take the Jeep out to the dunes. We'll see. See how she pulls. Oh yeah. All 460 cubic inches of pure diesel insanity. Try stopping. Awesome. Try just taking her around the block here for a second. Wondering how it's going to do on the highway. I know both my latches are down. I can see them from here. The Jeep is secured to the trailer. It's pulling great. Pleasantly surprised that I can't really tell the difference with or without the Jeep right now. Alright, we're getting on 25 south towards Los Lunas. Ooh, did great in the corner right here. Getting on the highway. Pulling her like a champ. Hell yeah, brother. But I know we're going to run out of steam here in a second because this 7.3 just doesn't make the power. Yeah, this trailer's great. I am really glad I got this trailer, and I'm really glad that we fixed it up and we did all these things to it to make it more practical. The E-Tracks are working great so far. Alright, I'm going to get this Jeep unloaded. Today's hot out, so we're calling it a day today. I was hoping to make it out to the dunes and maybe get some B-roll footage, but it's just not going to happen. It's way too hot. It's like 96, 97 degrees out right now. Oh, it might even be hotter than that. Hell if I know. Anyways, though, thanks for watching. Next time, we're probably going to be working on some razor parts. So come back next week for Willie D. And I'm Willie D. And we're out.